Yeah, Badger's here. Got an NU battle here against this guy from Maryland. He wanted to bring, UUs, and I was just like, whatever. So he leads with Scyther, and I lead with Space Jam because Space Jam is the shit. So I go for the fake out. This is the exact same team I used last vid, by the way. So anyway, he goes for the sub, and for some reason I felt like staying in and ice punching, which was really good because he went for the sub. So, now I expect him to kill me off, but, I'm not gonna take any chances, because I'm a cautious motherfucker, yeah, that's right. So I died to a crit that probably did not matter one bit, cause it's Scyther. And I go into free candy, cause it's a pedo, and I was gonna go for the Aqua Jet just to kill it, and he has a Toxicroak, and I'm like, no, Toxicroak! And, yeah, so I can't do anything to this, so I go into Gliggles, and I'm like, Gliggles! And he goes for the sub. So, good for him. He goes for the Focus Punch, and I'm like, whoa, Focus Punch, and I'm like, WTF Earthquake. And so I break his substitute with an Earthquake. And yeah, he goes for the Focus Punch, but since Gliggles is so Gliggin awesome, he takes that Focus Punch like a fucking Gligar. So fuck Gliscor. Gligar is the shit. So I predict the switch and go for the Stealth Rocks, which is pretty tasty. Because yeah, and I know I'm faster, so I can U-turn out of there for some damages on it. And so Gliggles goes back, and I go into Herp Derp, and yeah. So he goes to the Ice Beam, and that does like 500,000 billion damage. And, yeah. So he gets, fucking leftovers. I go for Ice Beam. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was predicting like fucking or not, a Toxicroak. Yeah, which was kind of stupid. Whatever. So he goes for the Toxic, and I'm like, fudge ripple chicken dickables, and so I go for the Toxic now, and he just goes for the Slack Off. So basically, to give you the basic rundown, nothing has fucking happened. So, yeah. I went for the Encore here in case he stayed in, but he didn't, and he went to Gardevoir. And which traces my thick fat and gets all fat and ugly and shit. And yeah, I'm like, God, Gardevoir, you're so fat. Jeez. So, yeah, I kind of predicted a T-Bolt or a Psychic, so I go into Fragrance, because I know this can take it. And he goes for the Psychic, which is just delicious cheese. And I go for the Pursuit because I thought he would switch, but he's like, nah, I ain't gonna switch. And I'm like, damn, son. But I kill it with Pursuit anyway, unboosted, because, yeah. So he goes into Nidoking, and I know he's gonna use his ground moves of ultimate groundness and shit, so I go into Gliggles, and he's like, yeah, I'm a Gliggles. And I wasn't sure if I was faster, so I didn't go for U-turn. I switch out back to Herp Derp to scout for the Ice Beam. And he does have it, so that's good that I switched. So again, I take like 500,000 billion damage, and, yeah, I get hurt by poison. I go for the Surf just for the lolskis, and, yeah, he goes back to the Slowbro, so yeah, fucking deja vu right here. So, I get hurt by poison, yeah. Yeah, so here I switch into my Pedo, because I know I can take any move, because I think he has just Surf and Ice Beam. So he goes for the Surf, and yeah, I still take like almost half from that. Like, that's how fucking weak Sharpedo is with defenses. But he gets hurt by the poison, and now I know that I can basically kill it with Crunch. So I go for the crunch, and that is gonna be able to take out this Slowbro, which is really good because that's basically the only thing stopping me from sweeping with Typhlosion. So he goes into Toxicroak, and here I thought I might outspeed, or like he would set up a sub, predicting me to switch, but no, he just goes for the Earthquake. So I don't know why. I mean, I could have just switched to Gliggles, taking that like a fucking, I mean, like a Gliggles, huh? So I go into Wang Sauce, and I know because of dry skin, Eruption will do 522 damage. So, I go for the Eruption, and, yeah, that's gonna kill it. So he goes into Noctowl, and I know, and I'm like, lol, epic special wall, so I gotta switch out, and I know he's just gonna Nightshade to weaken my Eruption. So I go into Fragrance. Fragrance. That was weird. So he does go for the Nightshade, and I'm like, whoa, predicts. Here I thought he might set up some screens or some shit, so I went for the taunt, but, yeah. He just goes for another Nightshade, so, yeah. Here, I predict him to do more Nightshade stuff, but he just switches out to Scyther, I guess, to see what I do. And I just Sucker Punch, so that hits nothing. So I Sucker Punch nothing. I don't know how you can do that. So, he goes back into Noctowl, and I know that I outspeed it, so I'm just gonna explode, because what the fuck? Boom! And, yeah, so that's definitely gonna kill the Noctowl, obviously, because Skuntank. And he's like, I'm a tank and a skunk. That's like the best combination of things. So I go back into Wang Sauce, because I know all he has left is Nidoking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, will I kill with Eruption? I don't know, this is getting, it's very suspenseful. Oh my god, will I? Oh my god, the camera cuts out. What the fuck? To find out the ending, watch next week's episode. No, just kidding, I killed